The rumble of 18-wheelers, once the soundtrack of New York City's bustling commerce, has fallen silent. Truckers, the unsung heroes of America's supply chain, have initiated a full-scale boycott, bringing the city that never sleeps to its knees. Their grievances? A perfect storm of rising fuel costs, crippling congestion tolls, and stringent environmental regulations. From the bustling ports of Staten Island to the crowded streets of Manhattan, the impact is undeniable. Supermarkets are struggling to keep shelves stocked. Construction projects are stalled, and the city's legendary restaurants are facing shortages of key ingredients. Truckers, many of whom are independent contractors operating on razor-thin margins, feel unheard and undervalued. The boycott, sparked by a viral video of a trucker's impassioned plea, has exposed a deep well of frustration and resentment. The video, viewed millions of times, struck a chord with its message of economic hardship and government overreach. The economic ramifications of the boycott are impossible to ignore. Every day the boycott continues, New York City loses an estimated $1.2 billion. The impact is being felt across all sectors, from mom-and-pop shops to Wall Street giants. The city's once booming tourism industry is taking a direct hit, with hotels reporting mass cancellations and Broadway shows struggling to fill seats. The ripple effects are spreading far beyond the city limits. Businesses across the country that rely on New York City as a market for their goods are feeling the pinch. Mayor Adams, facing mounting pressure to resolve the crisis, is caught between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, he's facing calls from business leaders and residents to appease the truckers and get the city moving again. On the other hand, environmental groups and progressive activists are urging him to stand firm on the city's sustainability goals. The truckers' boycott in New York City has ignited a national conversation about the trucking industry, its vital role in the American economy, and the challenges it faces. The issues at the heart of the boycott, rising fuel costs, burdensome regulations, and the increasing cost of doing business, resonate with truckers across the country. Many feel that their voices are not being heard in Washington, where policymakers often seem out of touch with the realities of life on the road. The outcome of the boycott could have far-reaching consequences for national policy and the balance of power between urban and rural interests. Adding fuel to the already raging fire is former President Donald Trump. Seizing the opportunity to tap into the discontent, Trump has thrown his weight behind the truckers, exacerbating the situation's political undertones. He has publicly criticized the Biden administration's handling of the economy and its perceived disregard for the working class. Trump, never one to shy away from a spectacle, held a rally in Staten Island, drawing thousands of supporters and further galvanizing the truckers. His fiery rhetoric, laced with populist appeals and attacks on the elites, resonated with the crowd. Trump's involvement has been met with mixed reactions. Some see it as a cynical ploy to exploit the situation for political gain, further dividing the country. The tremors from the truckers' boycott have reverberated through the halls of Wall Street, sending a chill down the spines of investors already grappling with market volatility. Adding to the anxiety is the high-profile boycott of New York City by Kevin O'Leary, the outspoken investor best known for his appearances on the hit show Shark Tank. O'Leary announced that he would be pulling his investments out of New York City, citing the city's anti-business environment and the government's inability to resolve the crisis swiftly. The stock market, a barometer of investor sentiment, has reacted negatively to the ongoing crisis. As the boycott drags on, the road ahead remains shrouded in uncertainty. The situation in New York City has exposed deep-seated divisions within American society, highlighting the challenges of balancing economic growth with environmental sustainability and social equity. One potential scenario is a negotiated settlement that addresses the concerns of both the truckers and the city. This would likely involve some concessions from both sides, such as a temporary rollback of certain regulations or financial assistance for truckers struggling to adapt to the new rules. Another possibility is that the boycott continues indefinitely, leading to a protracted economic downturn and potentially sparking similar protests in other cities. Ultimately, the path forward will require empathy, compromise, and a willingness to engage in constructive dialogue. The world is watching to see if the city that never sleeps can find a way to bridge its divides and emerge from this crisis stronger than ever before.